I love this drum card. I think it's fun. And I'm going to show you some tips on how to get some of the coloring to get the symbols to look kind of goldish. And also, if you wanted to do red, I'm going to show you a way to get it a little bit more red. You'll see with the pencils that sometimes it comes out kind of orangey if you use it by itself. Okay, so I have all my papers here. I gave you 2 rectangles just in case you needed a backup. And then you get your inside here, and your card base has already been embossed with that I was going to call it the wrong thing. Merry Melody, I think is what it's called, the embossing folder. All right. Oh, I didn't even put white on that side, but we're going to put white on the inside. We are going to stamp our drums first. I'll grab my drum stamp out. I have stuff sticking to mine. All right, this one just fits like that. So when we stamp it, we're going to kind of stamp it up towards the top. And that way it gives us room to put these things on the bottom. So this is a bigger stamp. So you can either, paper fibers online, stamp it, get it inked, move it around, or since it's a big one, sometimes I ink it up this way. And I'm going to go up towards the top. Give it a good press. All right, good. Let that dry for a second. So you can do your drum sets any colors you want, but I did want to give you a little tip on the red. So for the symbols, I'm going to use the yellow and the early espresso. I should say it's called the Daffodil Delight and the early espresso. I'm going to kind of combine those two together. And then for the red, I'm actually going to use 2 colors. I'm going to use the Real Red and the Melon Mambo. So I will start with the symbols. So I'm just going to color my symbols. You can certainly do them just yellow, but since we have a little gold in the card, I thought I wanted them a little bit more gold because that's how they are. Fun fact, the Zildjian symbols that are so famous are made in my town. Okay. So I did the yellow, and then I'm just going to do very lightly, especially where there's already shading here. I'm just going to do a little bit right on top of it, just light of that early espresso. Okay, we'll actually do all the coloring at the blending at the end. And then so for my drums, oh, actually I need one more color. We need gray, and look at, I have a broken gray. So I have my little handy dandy sharpener. Yeah, that might be good. So I actually did outline these, and you could leave them blank if you wanted, but I did use the gray. And I sometimes will rotate my paper so I can see better. All right, and then just do a little bit of the stand. I think it just gives it a little depth if we kind of color these in. There's also a black in the pack, so you could always use your black if you wanted, but I just used the gray. All right, I think that is all of the edges. I think so. All right, so for the red, and I'll just show you on this one, if I just did the red, I'm just kind of doing it light. When I use the blender pen, it's not really red. It's kind of orangey. And so what I decided is, just gonna add a little bit more red in there. I did the red and then I added some of that Melon Mambo, that pink. So it gave it a little bit two-tone. So it has pink in it, but looking at it, it's kind of screams red drums. So if you, doesn't matter which one you color first. So I'm just doing a little pink. And I'll do the red on top. Again, you don't have to be perfect with your coloring because we're going to use that blender pen, kind of mush it all together. All right, so this one I did do a little darker pink on them, so I'm just going to kind of match them a little bit. And there's another drum card. I'll do a different color too so you can see the difference. All right, so these are really the same. This is before I do the blending, and this is after I do the blending. So I'm going to take my blender pen. I'm going to do the lighter color first, the yellow. And you don't want to overdo it because then your paper will get pilly. You just have to do a little bit. So it kind of blended that yellow and the brown together, and so I'm just going to clean it off. And now I'm going to go back in and use my blend that pink and that red together. And with these two colors, there's a lot on my blender pen, so you can even fill in spaces that still had white. You'll see in a second when I clean it off how much is going to be on there. That's why you don't have to color in everything, because there's going to be so much color carried over. You can just go back and look. So that really kind of touches it up a little bit. And so watch, there's a lot of, actually it wasn't as much as I thought. Sometimes you're like doing this forever. So you can see that this is stained, but there's nothing on it. And I'm not even going to bother. No. Somehow I got a little yellow in there. I'm not going to bother blending in my brown edging because it's fine. It's so minor that it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's put this card together. Pretty easy at this point. That's the inside. This is actually going to go straight on top. And feel free to like change layers up, or if you want it a little bit different. These are your cards. All right, so I'm going to center that on there. And I'm just going to actually kind of press, just in case any of that's still wet. I don't want to rub it and then get it. Since I already have a little mark there, I might have to put a little gem there to cover that up. And then you can kind of decide where you want these. And I did the same thing. If you want this smaller, just cut a square off. You can kind of see that this one's a little smaller than this one. So go ahead and customize. But I just thought it looked kind of fun. And then, oh, we have to stamp our, I'll find it. All right. I just like how the gold kind of mimics the symbols there. And this I'm going to put down like that. So you see a little bit of the white, and we'll put the words right in the middle. So let me find my words. I think I put the wrong size in here, so I'm going to steal from one of my other envelopes. There we go. Okay. And remember, you have extra left over. If you can use that also, so you can kind of mix and match. So this one, I'm just going to have it say happy birthday, just like my sample here. Put this a little closer to me so I can see. And I did trim all of my stamps, so it makes it a little easier for me to see them. All right, so that's gonna go like that. While that's drying, I'm just gonna leave that blank for white and I'll write a message inside. I guess I could do you rock my, actually maybe I'll do that. You rock my world. This one you really can tell that I cut. I think actually the other one that looks good for the drums is Enjoy the Rhythm of My Day. So you get two choices. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use dimensionals to put that one up. Cover my glue. Cover my ink. I usually have, by the time I'm done, very inky fingers. All right, so that's gonna go right, I'm gonna do it kind of right in the middle. And then I only put one gem here, but since I have that little mistake, let's see, put a couple more. Just use my tweezers since they're right there. I want black or gray. Let's do gray. I'll do a black one next to it, just so it doesn't look like it's covering my mistake. It looks like I intentionally put some dimensionals in there. Maybe I'll do a different size one. Oops. All right. I don't want to get too carried away here, but I want it to be kind of, there we go. I don't know. I might play with it. But that was the original without the mistake. Okay, so now I'm going to clean up and I'll get ready for the next card.